Hey everybody, this is Bill Varney with your saltwater guide, Fish the Surf fishing report for Thursday, April 3rd. Okay, well, over the last week or so, of course, we've seen some rain, some wind, some drizzle, so that somewhat may have slowed down the fishing a bit, but we still have excellent fishing along the California Bight from Santa Barbara all the way down to the Mexican border. So let's start up in Santa Barbara. The first thing I wanted to let everybody know is that the tackle shop, Hook, Line, and Sinker, the best tackle shop in all of Santa Barbara, is moving from Cali Real today over to Los Positos Road. Los Positos Road is right across the 101 freeway from Earl Warren Showgrounds. We'll give you more detail about it once they get into their new facility. Good news for them. We're really excited for Ben up there. If you ever need surf fishing information, baits, lures, terminal tackle, Hook, Line, and Sinker is the place to go on Los Positos. So let's start up above Santa Barbara at Halama Beach. Got a couple of reports this week from Halama Beach. The barred surf perch fishing is absolutely excellent up there, with barred surf push to 16 inches all along the front of the campground over by where the creek comes in there. That has all been very good. There's just one thing to remember when you go up there. Much of the sand has gone off the beach. Very unusual. I've seen it like this a couple times over the years, but a lot of the sand's gone, so it's mostly rocky right in front of the campground area. And so you want to be sure to take bait with you. You won't be able to very easily find sand crabs up there. They're certainly there, but you really have to look for them to find them. So take some baits up there with you, and grubs, hard baits, all kinds of things like that were great up at Halama. And then down the road just a piece on the other side of the Hollister Ranch is Refugio State Park. That, when the sun was out last week, had some excellent perch fishing. Buttermouth, opali, barred surf perch, all good in that area. There was a halibut caught up there last week, and it really looks like that whole area will improve once we see the wind calm down. When we go along southern Santa Barbara by the wharf, Ledbetter Beach, East Beach, not many reports from there, but we know they're catching yellowfin croaker and perch in that area. As we make our way down to Carpinteria, that Carpinteria, La Conchita area has had some excellent barred surf perch fishing for, once again, these really big breeding females. If you're not going to keep them, be sure to get them back in the water as quickly as possible. If they do have their birth while you're there, just pick them up and throw them right in. They have live births, so they'll swim right away. So that's a really good sign. Fishing down in Ventura has been good this week. There's been a few small corbina down there, which is really good sign. No stripers I heard of this week, but I think the corbina and striper will really come back in about 10 days or so as the water warms up down there and more crabs come up in the sand and the wind calms down over this wind event that we're having now throughout the weekend. So really looking for Ventura to get better. Fishing down there has been good from the Channel Islands Harbor all the way up to C Street. You want to try to concentrate near any of the harbor entrances, river mouths, places like that, and then also along the edges of where rocks meet sand, where you have the jetties. You want to fish right on the edge of where those rocks on the jetty meet the sand on the bottom. That's your ultimate spot for fishing, and that's where some of the biggest perch have been taken in the last week or so. As we make our way down to the South Bay, Rat Beach continues to have good fishing on the rocks up toward Haggerty's, on buttermouth and opalite perch. Those have been really good, and you've got all kinds of bait to use for those. You've got mussels, and you've got cut anchovies and sardine. You have strips of squid, bloodworms, lugworms, all of the ghost shrimp, all of those baits work really well up there. And because you're fishing over rock structure, a lot of rock structure mixed in with kelp, I always suggest using a floating bobber to suspend your bait just slightly off the bottom so that you're not snagged all the time. So fish under those bobbers. And then when we go down on the sand on Rat and Torrance Beach, that's been really good for walleye perch and some big barred perch again as they make their way down there. I know there's a lot of clams in that area. They have been over the years, and they're possibly down in that area eating those. When we make our way up to Hermosa and Manhattan Beach and El Segundo, it's been an excellent bite in halibut. Several fish over 30 inches caught in that area on frozen Grunion, just picked up in the Grunion run just the other day. So those Grunion, of course, they work very, very well in the surf, and as they come in, and of course we had a run just a few days ago, it brings the bigger fish like the halibut, white sea bass, different sharks and so forth right into shore, very, very close to feed on those. So that's an excellent bait to use, and those have worked in addition to swim baits that are in a Grunion pattern. Both of those have worked really well in the Hermosa and Manhattan area, and that once again will improve once we get past this wind event, which is into early next week. Orange County continues to be good. There has been corbina, perch. There's been a 30+ inch striper caught there in the last week or so. Actually, there were 2 striper caught there, and some of the best spots to concentrate along there would be the Newport Jetties area, Huntington Cliffs, Bolsa Chica, particularly by the Bolsa Chica outlet inlet area, and then up on the beach at Surfside. If you are to go south of that, Doheny Beach is a really good place to concentrate. I know there's some halibut there because there was an amazing run in there of Grunion, and it has just traditionally had halibut there. Once again, anywhere you can find rocks adjacent to sand, you want to fish those edges for halibut down there at Doheny. And then if we make our way to the San Clemente Pier, just north of the pier, on the right-hand side of the pier, that really looks like it's setting up nice right now for corbina, and sand crabs should be showing up there, if not there already, very, very soon. So all of that Orange County, a bit slower this week, but certainly set up to turn on to be excellent in the next 10 days or so when we get past this wind. We get a little warmer water from a south swell coming up. It's really going to pick up down there. And then San Diego continues to be good. It really is shining. There's more striper caught down there. They were caught on live Grunion cast along the edges of the Grunion run. The Grunion runs in San Diego were phenomenal. They were some of the biggest runs I've seen in years at places like Mission Beach, Pacific Beach, up in Oceanside. They were all along the coast there in San Diego where you have sand. Remember, concentrate in areas that have sand, particularly soft sand, and that's where you're going to find the Grunion. So if you go at night and you're fishing a Grunion, for example, for bait along when the Grunion are coming in or just after they've come in, be sure to fish the edges of it. Don't cast out in the middle of where the Grunion are, but fish the edges. That's where the fish, the bigger fish, are coming in and picking off those Grunion on the outside as the outside edges of their run. So find your way all the way to the edge of their run and fish those edges there. There's been a few corbina down there, but the best spots in those corbina, before I get the best spots, those corbina have been on bloodworms. Bloodworms have been working very effectively in San Diego. I think a lugworm would probably work, but in particular those bloodworms work well because you can cast them quite a distance without worrying about them coming off the hook, and you can cover a lot of surface area on the bottom looking for those corbina. So that has been good, and that will once again only improve as the conditions improve. Some of the better spots have been Torrey Pines, Blacks, Mission Beach, and also Coronado has been good. And although I haven't seen a halibut from Coronado, I know they're coming because on both sides of the Coronado Peninsula inside the bay and outside the bay, there was a Grunion run there. So that's really exciting stuff. So just an update about the Bolsa Chica Surf Fishing Clinic. There's just a few spots left there. So if you're interested in going to that, you can sign up at surffishtackle.com. Check it out there. Don't forget to sign up on the front page of fishthesurf.com for my newsletter. You get my monthly newsletter, free newsletter every single month with all kinds of updates about conditions, fishing, pictures, Grunion runs, all the stuff you need to do to be successful down at the beach. And last but not least, our next Grunion run will be the 12th, April 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th. Should start around 10 o'clock at night. Couple things to remember once again. Second night tends to be better than the first night. Number one. Number two, don't scare the scouts when they first come in with your lights or picking them up. Let them all come in. Give about a half an hour time for them to go out and the others to begin to come in again. Then you'll have a better run that way. And then always look for Grunion in areas where you have soft sand, around river mouth areas, estuaries, harbors, under piers, places where there's soft sand and no rocks. That's where you're going to find most of your Grunion. So thank you for watching this week. Good luck down at the beach, and until next week, I'll see you right here. Thank you so much for watching.